USA Ultimate is proud to present the 2015 U.S. Open Ultimate Championships. It is Championship Sunday in Westchester, Ohio. Lakota West High School, the setting for the title matchup in the women's division as the Seattle Riot, the 4 seed, gets set to take on the Fury of San Francisco. A look at the women's bracket, and really I don't think too many people are surprised to see these two teams hooking up in the title. Riot was able to hold off a very good traffic team, 15-14, while Fury secured a 2-point win against Boston Brute Squad, 15-13 in the semis. Welcome back, Sean Kinney alongside Evan Lepler. And you look at the U.S. Open through the years. This is the 4th year for the U.S. Open Championships, and it's been one of these two teams who have always come away with the title, so no surprise. Here we go again, matchup number 4.
These are the two teams that have set the standard in women's ultimate championships in the nationals and world competitions. And they're great ambassadors for the sport to really put a premium on coaching youth players, spreading ultimate to different countries around the world. This is going to be an interesting matchup. They've already met twice this season. We're still super early. Fury got the best of Riot at Solstice a few weeks back in pool play. Riot jumped out to a great start and took half 8-1 en route to the 15-10 win. I think this game's going to be closer today for a few different reasons.
You look at Seattle Riot, and this is a program that has a lot of tradition, and they've made some moves in the offseason. What do they bring to the table today?
So much talent. I mean, up and down the roster, Callahan Award winners, national champions, world game champions. Up and down, there's everybody, and there's GWEN AMBLER, and she's done it all. But we're a little surprised to see her back here, but not too surprised. She said she was going to retire after last year, but around the combine time, she just had the itch, and she showed up at the combine. The head coach, Andy Lufseth, was not all that surprised. They were driving to the combine together, and she said, instead of maybe coaching this year, what if I played again? And she's such a phenomenal player. She's got size, she's got throws, obviously experience and wisdom leading Seattle Riot.
For San Francisco Fury, they have bounced back really strong after just getting shell-shocked by Riot on Friday. They fell behind 8-1 at halftime, but they've bounced back, and here they are in the finals again.
Well, similar to Riot, this is a Bay Area all-star team. They've added some new pieces this year, but it's the veteran cog in the handler core that we focus on today. Alex Snyder moving the disc yesterday. She took a couple shots deep. Sarah Carnahan, one of the Fury rookies, made a couple great grabs, but it was the lateral movement that Snyder initiated. It's great to see her back healthy after her dislocated kneecap at Worlds last year. Really wasn't fully recovered by the time Fury got to Frisco. Alex Snyder, considered one of the greatest throwers, one of the greatest players in the world for a long time. She was captain of the USA World Games team that took gold in Colombia. They're trying to take gold today, but it's not going to be easy against their rivals.
Some of the top talent in the women's circuit coming up. It's the championship of the women's division, the Riot, the Fury, next. The 2015 U.S. Open Ultimate Championships are presented by Discraft Ultrastar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Ask your retailer for Discraft Ultrastar. The Women's Sports Foundation, ensuring equality and leadership opportunities for girls and women through sports. And the Girls Ultimate Movement, a strategic initiative designed to increase girls' participation in the sport of ultimate. Independence Day weekend here in Ohio. How about some red, white, and blue aerial style just a few moments ago before the playing of the national anthem as we set the stage. It's the 2015 U.S. Open Championship. Happy holidays. Great to have you with us here the 4th of July. No better place than Ohio as we've enjoyed some tremendous ultimate. Now we get set for the Women's Championship as we take a look at the starting lineups, beginning with Seattle and the Riot. They have a number of different weapons. GWEN AMBLER is the one that we focused on, one of the main handlers. Weatherford and Schneider, both very dangerous, along with McKibben and Fontenette, two of the main cutters. On the opposite side for the Fury of San Francisco, Alex Snyder coming off a big game yesterday, a couple of goals, had 4 assists in the win in the semifinals. Nazarov, Clancy, Carnahan, Jorgensen, the starting lineup for coach Kevin Cisna and San Francisco. What you need to know for the sport of ultimate, 7 players to a side. The first team to 15 wins. Halftime is reached once the first squad gets to 8 goals. The disc can advance in any direction. You can't run with the disc. You have to have that pivot planted. Players must pass the disc within 10 seconds. The stall count will be begun once you catch the disc Games are self-officiated. We have the observers here, and then the team switch-ins after each score. Wind not a factor. It really hasn't been a factor the past couple of days. Absolutely gorgeous here in Ohio as we get set for the second of 3 championship games. Riot, Fury, these two teams so familiar with one another. It will be Seattle with the opening pull. Fury in the white to receive. As you take a look, 76 degrees. The wind not a factor. Partly cloudy skies. It has been, I don't think you could have scripted any better as far as weather days. The past couple of shots, we had some light rain, off and on showers Thursday and Friday for pool play, but yesterday perfect, today right along those same lines.
It has been picture perfect, and we get to see the 3rd meeting between these two teams so early in the season. 2 weeks ago at Solstice, it was Fury 16-14, although Riot overcame a big deficit in that game. 2 days ago, Riot was up 9-2 before Fury made a run, won the second half, but lost 15-10. Both these teams are so deep, very few players individually are among the statistical leaders in the tournament, but they probably have the best players.
There's a deep shot downfield, uncorked that time by Snyder, but too far out in front. She was trying to hook up with Dara Clancy. So an early turnover for Fury on their first possession, and we will get our first look at Riot and what they can do. And as Evan mentioned, Seattle jumped out to that quick 8-1 lead 2 days ago.
And I asked Fury coach Kevin Cisna, what happened in that game that you can't allow Riot to replicate today? And he said, we started out 1 notch below where we should have. They punished every mistake we did. They were really focused on winning this first point. Now each team has turned it over once.
ID unable to chase it down, so right back to Fury at midfield. Going to be Nazarov with the disc.
Angelica Carr matched up on her. Lauren Sadler, former DC Scandal players, on Alex Snyder.
Here's Carnahan off her fingertips, and it will fall incomplete. You don't see that too often. Sarah Carnahan making the adjustment from the mixed division to the women's side, her first year with the Fury program.
And as Riot's Kelly Johnson picks up the disc, a really great matchup with Sabrina Cody Fong, who used to play for Riot. Kelly Johnson in her 2nd year in Seattle after playing in Chicago for a long time. And what a layout D from Fury. Oh my goodness, tremendous effort from Maggie Rudin.
Turnover deep in their own end, so let's see if Fury can take advantage. Sabrina Fong. Fong looking to go backhand, comes that direction. Making the catch is Nazarov. She swings it over to Snyder. Snyder with a step, lays it near the goal line for the score. Kayla Jorgensen, and it is Fury who fires the first shot here in the title game. 1-0 San Francisco.
Here's the turnover first. Johnson's throw looked like a good one, but Rudin just attacked the disc with ferocity. Got there before Bailey Zahnizer. That break from Nazarov was huge. Snuck it to Snyder, and then the throw to the end zone easy, finding Jorgensen. Anna Nazarov doesn't have the wingspan of some other great throwers, but she's so crafty with her release point and able to get that throw over the shoulder of her defender to Snyder.
Good look at Snyder out of Humboldt, California, 6-year player. Or excuse me, Jorgensen, Kayla Jorgensen, 6-year player out of Humboldt, California, UC Santa Barbara product. More helpers than goals. That's her role with this Fury team. Her 2nd goal of the tournament. She has 8 assists, though.
Yeah, really feisty player. Great energy, great defensive intensity. And good, reliable hands around the end zone, too, for Jorgensen. So Fury accomplished their first goal, Sean. Kevin Cisna stressed. He said, we're going to win the first point. Despite a couple turnovers each way, Fury's up 1-0.
Riot getting everybody in place as they start their offensive sequence. Up ahead to McKibben. McKibben comes back to the center of the field, Alyssa Weatherford.
The amount of experience in the handler corps for Riot is unreal.
Weatherford with a shot downfield looking for Stern, and she lays out and makes the catch. Shira Stern with a tremendous layout. Now the Riot knocking as McKibben looks. Back to Weatherford. Rutherford might be forced to dump. She is. Quick give and go with Soper. And a foul called downfield to pick.
So the handler core for the O-line, GWEN AMBLER, Alyssa Weatherford, and Rory Titcomb. Three of the most versatile, experienced leaders in the ultimate community. And SHIRA STERN coming into her own as a third-year Riot player. I mean, she's just 23, former University of Washington Element standout. They have counted on her to make those types of plays all weekend long.
Just shy of the goal line. Kawhi has it.
In on one, in on one.
Contested foul, so Kawhi will pull the trigger. Riot trying to even this up, and they will on the JACLYN grab. Kawhi gets the assist, and it's a 1-1 game as McKibben holds it in.
Well, yesterday, Cree Howard had the defensive challenge of chasing Becky Malinowski around. Today, starting out on Hannah Kawhi, and a good low release flick, juggled but hauled in by McKibben. Originally from Seattle, went east, played for NYU and the Big Apple. Back in the Pacific Northwest, though, with Riot. And we talk so much about the Seattle youth scene. They put so much money into the middle school community. And you know, people have told me you can make more money coaching middle school ultimate in Seattle than you can coaching any college or top club team in the world right now. It's just how they've allocated their resources. And because of that, so many players start getting on the ultimate field younger, getting touches of the disc. So many of the great players in the country and in the world have grown in Seattle.
Mentioned Riot, 2014 World Champions, two-time U.S. Open champion, winning it 2014, 2012. Beat Brute Squad last year 10-7 in the finals of this tournament. Knocked off Scandal in 2012, 15-10 in the finals of the U.S. Open.
It was an ugly championship game last year. Neither team played well. It was very windy and sloppy, a lot of turnovers. Today should be much cleaner, much more fun to watch.
Carnahan makes the catch right along the near side, backhands it up ahead. Couple of targets to choose from, and reaching up and grabbing it for the score is Alden Fletcher. Solid throw, and Fury counters right away.
Carnahan showing that she's more than just a deep cutter. Beautiful shot. Fletcher went up to get it.
Your O'Malley couldn't have played that much better, could you?
Only if you got the D. She did all she could. It's a great matchup. Two young number 22s, VERZUH and Carnahan. Alden Fletcher was teammates in college with Dre Romano, CAROLYN Finney, Kayla Jorgensen. Played against Anna Nazaroff, and you know, this year at tryouts, Alden Fletcher broke her right pinky, and yet she's still out here making plays. She's an elementary school art teacher.
I was going to say, hopefully that won't mess up her artistic ability. Creates magical art pieces on paper and canvas, studied art. Actually has her own web page, Fletcher Finds and Designs. All about finding and designing some of the home tips around their apartment located in San Francisco.
The versatile talents of all these players in their non-ultimate lives is usually pretty astounding.
GWEN AMBLER and Riot down a point early on, championship.
That's a crazy matchup. Michaela Meister guarding GWEN AMBLER, youth versus experience.
See the tight mark being applied by Meister. Count on, having to get rid of it was Ambler. Comes back near side to Fontenette.
Dominique Fontenette is ageless as well. She was the second ever female Callahan Award winner back in the mid-90s. Part of the Stanford dynasty, the first teams to win for Superfly.
Riot able to swing it over to McKibben, who tosses it softly up ahead to Stern, and Stern has it knocked out of their hands, so they'll restart. Come Back to the center to Weatherford. Wanted to go backhand. Now on a drag route, she connects with Schneider. Schneider dumps it back. Riot looking for a reset and a turnover on the low throw. So Fury, quick transition. Let's see if they can get something cooking. Fajardo holds, now surveys, launches downfield. Lim will lay out and make the grab. Stephanie Lim. Lim looking for her options, forced to dump it back, and then they try to go right back to her, but she wasn't ready for it. That's Fajardo and the turnover.
Credit GWEN AMBLER's downfield defense there on Meister. Lim was looking for her Superfly teammate in the end zone. They were the only two players in the area, and Ambler shut off any angle for a deep throw. Would have been nothing more than a 50-50, and Ambler's got the size advantage on Meister.
Kawhi, who has an assist. 2-1, Fury with the lead. These two teams know each other so well. Ambler on the tight mark from Meister. Dumps it back to Weatherford. Weatherford looking toward the end zone, floats it downfield, and it's knocked away. A D from Jorgensen. Good read there by Kayla, and another Riot turnover.
So far in this game, Fury has turned it over a few times, but Riot hasn't forced too many of them. Most of Riot's turnovers have been into traffic where Fury has emerged with D's.
Did you see Jorgensen's eyes on that last D? She had her head turned away from the action, but she was reading the eyes of the receiver there. And once she saw those eyes kind of react and light up as if the disc was coming, she automatically turned around, showed the quick reflexes, and got the D. Textbook play.
No contest on the foul from Stern, and you said it, the big eyes from Jorgensen. And Alden Fletcher's going to take an injury sub here. Sarah Carnahan from the near side comes running onto the field. Kelly Johnson is going to replace Alyssa Weatherford, defense for offense for Riot. Andy Lovesith started playing in 6th grade when he was at New Option Middle School, same school that produced guys like Alex Nord and Sam Chatterton Kirchmeyer.
Tough to tell what Fletcher hurt there as she went down. Here's a disc flying in the air in the end zone, and Carnahan using her size out-muscled the defenders for the score. She made a living doing that in the mixed circuit. Now she's found a home here in women's. One of the elite players making a nice play.
And you can tell that she's a combination athlete from other sports. I mean, she was a really good basketball player. Not that she was boxing out here, but just in terms of body positioning and keeping balance. Obviously, the great reading ability, the size, the athleticism to pop up and come up with this. Jorgensen giving Carnahan a chance to make the play, and the reaction from her teammates after she made that grab, it was special. You know, anytime a rookie does things like that, the veterans all go nuts. They're like, yeah, she's on our team now.
You're with us instead of against us. Carnahan, one of the premier females in the mixed division, led American Barbecue in goals and assists at last year's club championships. Complete package, and she has an early assist in this one and now a goal, and the Fury with a 3-1 lead. Kayla Jorgensen, after the D, able to take advantage as she notches the assist. So a completely different start from what we saw Friday in the pool.
I've actually had the chance to play a little beach ultimate with Sarah Carnahan before in the Bay Area. I was wandering the beach wearing some 5 Ultimate shorts. She and her husband saw me, and I played pickup with them for a couple of hours on one of my excursions out there. It's nice to have her on my team, too.
I was going to say, were you on her side or opposing her that day on the beach?
Very reliable.
Cree Howard with the foul. No contest here, so it will be Seattle. The restart, it's tapped in by Duffy. And tick come. And a foul called as a near turnover for Seattle. Our first touch for VERZUH. Titcomb forced to dump it back. Duffy has her assignment. This is Kelly Johnson with it. Jackson sends it low.
JACLYN VERZUH, 18 years old, one of the youngest players ever on Riot, and a future star. On the U23 national team is an 18-year-old. That's outrageous.
She wears number 22. Keep an eye on her. Here's a layout in the end zone for a Riot score. Rachel Bradshaw, fourth-year player, gets the goal.
Rory Titcomb, obviously she's a great ambassador for the sport, but that's a sick put right there. Good balance, low release, angled perfectly to the break side, impossible to guard. There's VERZUH, just so athletic and active, been playing ultimate. She plays like a veteran, despite she's 18 years old. I asked GWEN AMBLER, who does she remind you of? And she said, maybe a young Miranda Roth. I asked Andy Loveset the same question. He said maybe, you know, a Jimmy Mickle type player in the women's division. She can cut deep, she can throw deep, she can do everything defensively. Bradshaw with the goal from Titcomb. Rory, a long-time captain of Riot, although this year it's Weatherford, Kingery, and Kawhi. And this year she has Rory on the back of her jersey because her sister Chyna is also on the team. Although Chyna not playing today, a minor injury for Chyna. She was in good spirits in the sideline. She's getting ready to go to London with the U23 program as well.
I mentioned that Titcomb family. There are 5 of them, 5 ultimate. Anybody who follows the sport knows about their branding with the clothing. JACLYN, Exton, VERZUH, Rory, and Chyna, 5 siblings. Mentioned it, great ambassadors for the sport of ultimate. 3-2 Fury on top. They have control of the disc. This is Carnahan, who's been active early on, floats it up ahead to Snyder. Snyder makes the catch, locates the pivot, forehands it up ahead. Little flick to Rudin. Rudin back across the way to Snyder.
What we saw from Fury yesterday was their ability to move the disc laterally. Andy Loveset said one of the keys today was try to make them work harder when they move the disc side to side.
Nancy Sun able to get the disc away as that count was drawing closer to 10.
There's some of the good handler defense, but then Sadler got burnt up line, and then Snyder made a mistake.
Snyder threw it right into the lap of the Riot defender, and here comes Seattle transition opportunity. They send it to midfield. There's a huck by Sadler toward the end zone, looking for GOODREAU, and she'll take it away for the score. JILLIAN GOODREAU using her height. They have her listed at 5'11". Seattle, Washington, her 4th goal of the week, and it pulls Riot even.
Well, a good choice. GOODREAU, the tallest player on either side, and an aggressive physical attempt at the D from Rudin. This is Riot's first break, 1 for 3 on break opportunities to even things back up at 3. Sadler, perhaps the most underrated pickup. You know, a lot of hype for JACLYN VERZUH, the young phenom. Paige Diddy Soper, Ohio State star alongside Cassie Swafford at 2014 College Nationals. And Sadler, kind of an understated star on Scandal the past couple years when they won titles. You know, Octavia Payne, Opie Payne got tons of credit. Sandy Jorgensen, obviously, as well. The head coach, Alex Gesquier. But Sadler, very reliable out of University, American University in DC originally. Grew up, though, in the state of Washington. And there weren't a lot of spots available on this Riot team for newcomers because they didn't have a ton of turnover. But the players that they did add, you know, all are national champion caliber, with Soper, VERZUH, Sadler, and of course Chyna Titcomb a finalist for the Callahan Award, and a very reliable Brute Squad handler last year.
Where do you feel there's more separation between the men's and the women's division? Do you feel you have more separation on the women's side compared to the men's, or vice versa?
I think the top of the women's division is definitely more separate from the middle tier. And I think Fury and Riot are clear top 2 right now. You know, we haven't seen Denver Molly Brown, but you know, in addition to a couple of the scandal players going over there, they really threatened the quarterfinals last year behind Claire Chastain, former UNC Wilmington star. But you know, aside from Fury, Riot, Scandal, Brute Squad, Traffic, Molly Brown, I think there's a big gap after that with teams like Ozone and Heist and Schwa, North Carolina, Raleigh, Phoenix trying to break into that tier, but there is a big gap in there. You see that in pool play. Felt like there were more close games in the men's division overall than there were in the women's division here at the US Open.
Back-to-back breaks for Riot as they capitalize on another Fury turnover, and it's Bradshaw getting her second goal. So all of a sudden, Seattle grabbing some momentum. They lead at 4-3.
That's 3 in a row. And a good athletic pivot from Kelly Johnson on the goal line to find Bradshaw. And Fury has taken a timeout to talk things over.
Bradshaw entered this championship game with just 1 goal so far, but she has 2 of Riot's 4. And Fury and head coach Kevin Cisna trying to regroup a little bit after back-to-back turnovers and a couple of breaks for Riot.
I asked Kevin Cisna the other day, what's your coaching style? Do you yell a lot? And he said, you know, when I was just starting coaching college men, yeah, I yelled a lot. Here I don't need to yell a lot. These girls are so self-motivated. I don't need to be the, you know, emotional battery for this team. More just tweaking a few things, reminding them what their goals are. He coached women's 1 season before. He coached a lesser-known team called Slackjaw in the Bay Area. 2009, Maggie Rudin, as a younger player, was a member of that team before she matriculated to the top team in San Francisco. You know, another women's team that's knocking on the door of that top tier, San Francisco Nightlock. You know, it's tough for a community to support 2 teams, but was really impressed watching them. They gave Riot a great game in pool play, took a 3-1 lead, added some pieces from the college ranks, from the mixed division. And I'm very curious to see what Nightlock's ceiling is going to be, not just this year, but going forward. You know, I'm not sure it's going to be a Jam Revolver-like dynamic. When Revolver was the second men's San Francisco team, Jam still won a title when Revolver existed, but then Revolver, you know, the torch was passed as the younger players from Revolver overcame the veteran experience of Jam. I don't think Fury's feeling all that threatened, but I think other teams should be. I think Nightlock, if they reach their peak this year, could be a semifinalist at Nationals.
You mentioned there's not too many communities that could support 2 clubs like that, but I think the 2 cities represented in this final might be the 2 that could pull it off.
For sure. Now this disc landed inbounds, rolled out of bounds, so Fury will get it on the front goal line of the end zone, but not at the brick mark.
Tough starting position for Sabrina Fong. And Fury, as they start deep in their own end, trailing by a point, trailing for the first time in this game. They led 3-1, but Riot has unleashed 3 consecutive scores.
Important offensive point here for Riot. Rudin, Clancy, Jorgensen, the strong side cutters, Carnahan on the far side of the field. Snyder, Fong, and Nazaroff, the handlers. And a Pochi junk defense. The handlers are sagging off. And could Nazaroff stay in bounds? No.
They're going to say she caught it out of bounds despite the effort. And a turnover, so the switch of D's works for Riot. Looked like it caught Fury off guard, off balance a little bit. So they'll move the pylon for the entrance here from Titcomb. Tickham looking toward the end zone, still searching. She comes back with the backhand, a dump over to Sadler. Sadler goes right back to Tickham. Tickham across the way. She tried to rotate it, but missed timing the jump, and over her head, Dominique Fontenette.
Tremendous red zone defense there, especially from Cody Fong, as Nazaroff just lays out for everything. They call her Mad Dog.
Alex Snyder, what a game yesterday. The 10th year player for Fury, a couple of goals. Had 4 assists on the win against Brute Force. Snyder backs it up. Nazarov right back to her. Nazarov, you see this poaching defense again, trapping D.
Look at this defense here from Riot. They're poaching into the lanes. Fury has shown good patience to work it this far down the field.
Fong off the fingertips and incomplete, so they change the field position a little bit as they march it down, but they're unable to capitalize as they turn it over. Clancy off her hands. And it goes back to Riot, and Fury still stuck on 3. They've been stuck at 3 for a while. Hard work trying to deny Tickham the disc. Get it up ahead. This is McKibben. Back into the center of the field, working with it to Stern. Both these teams working hard defensively. These two lines out here for a while. Now some room to work up ahead for Fontenette. Being forced to the forehand. She comes back trying to swing it over. And they will complete the swing as they work it across the way. Nora Carr. And a foul call.
It is contested? Okay. In on 1. In on 1.
Ruden's not going to contest it, so they'll start at the 1 count with Carr. Flings it up ahead. Now a quick backhand. They have a player open in the back of the end zone, but the throw a little bit late. And the layout attempt there as they knocked it away.
Fiona McKibben, what are you doing? She was wide open. No reason to throw that high blade. And she knew it. Look at her pound herself in her own forehead.
Now Fong comes up a little bit wobbly.
You know, sometimes a receiver looks so open, you don't appreciate your mark. There's a good mark by Carnahan, clogging the lane. Snyder, and on the landing, she just fell awkwardly. Obviously, that right knee taped up before the game. This is 2 red zone trips that Riot should have capitalized on, but did not. Credit Fury for never giving up around the end zone.
Carnahan with some room makes the catch along the near side. She'll zip it downfield on the hawk, and making the catch is Jorgensen. 7 yards away from the goal line.
Tickham wisely dropping off onto Clancy. Beg your pardon, Rudin.
They'll reset it back to Snyder. Snyder triggers it forward. Wide open for the score is Finney. And Fury gets that goal after being stuck at 3 for quite some time. CAROLYN Finney found some real estate near the pylon in the front of the end zone to score.
Missed opportunity on this point for Riot. A bunch of chances to break, and Seattle could not punch it in. See the patience here. Jorgensen in no particular hurry. Get the disc in Snyder's hands and good things usually happen. Jorgensen had no angle to find Finney. For Snyder, that was an easy throw that she's made a million times. I mean, literally a million times. I bet you she's thrown more than a million throws in her life. She's played for such a long time. Most of these players take the field with smiles on their faces. I mean, they have a great respect for the other. And I've eavesdropped on some post-game spirit circles between these two teams, and you know, they hate each other, but they love each other. You know that feeling?
Love-hate relationship.
You know, each team makes the other better, and they hate losing to the other one, and that just ignites the fury. The only loss in pool play was to Riot.
Four in this first half. It will be Seattle with it.
And I'll be honest with you, Sean. Going into the Fury Riot game, I thought Fury had looked a little tighter than Riot did over the course of the tournament. Riot was really tested by Phoenix, came out of the gate slowly against Nightlock. Fury really didn't have too many issues through their first 4 pool play games.
Kawhi, well, they go deep, looking for the hawk. Couple of steps to work with, and it is caught for the score right at the tail end toward the back end. Calling it in is Sarah Davis. Davis gets her 3rd goal of this tournament. Beautiful huck downfield for Riot.
Another girl who first made Riot at a very young age in her 4th year with the team. She's only 23. Kawhi and the 18-year-old VERZUH confidently letting it fly.
Davis from Golden, Colorado. From the Washington element. There's a good look at the young star.
She's going to go back on the field for this deep point. Thought it was VERZUH, but I was told by a couple people before the game it's VERZUH.
Seattle's tournament recap. They were the only team to go a perfect 5-0 in pool play for the women's side. They defeated Fury in the first matchup, and then yesterday took down Traffic in a hard game, 15-14. They knew that was going to be tough. You mentioned that not a lot of separation among those elite squads in this women's circuit, and they were able to hold on and get the victory.
I was chatting with Riot assistant coach Callie Ma, who's overcoming a couple knee injuries herself. Really good player at Western Washington, and I asked her what stood out about that game, and she said Traffic's just tough, aggressive defense. I mean, they were really fiery and got Riot out of its comfort zone at times. Riot took a 5-2 lead. Traffic stormed back, went up, I think 12-11 or 13-12 late in the game. Riot made a run, but it went to Universe, and Traffic got the disc on Universe. The 18-year-old VERZUH came up with a huge D. I asked Callie Ma about that, and just her face lit up. She's like, it was so amazing. Bet Riot will be a little more careful here.
Try the second pull after an offside. Just judging that was Romano. Now she gathers it in, sets up the offense to Nazaroff. Forehand flick to the near side, making the catch is Bree Howard. Howard goes up ahead softly to Finney. Finney turns, she's looking for Picaithley, and she will snatch it in. Lisa Picaithley, she was pretty quiet yesterday, but when she turns it on, she's tough to stop. A combination of good size and some coordination, and she holds in her 5th goal.
There's a reason the Riot girls call Lisa Picaithley Red Goliath. She is a beast downfield. A couple years ago in the US Open is when she really first made her mark as a member of Fury. Always very capable, just super athletic. It's funny, watching her play for her college team, she has a different role. She's so good with the disc that she plays behind the disc much more. She's a distributor. On Fury, when they have players like Ness Fajardo and CAROLYN Finney, Alex Snyder, Anna Nazaroff, she's much more of a downfield cutting threat.
Picaithley was part of the Polar Bear run to the club finals in 2012, 2011. 2010 squad with the Polar Bears. They took the mixed division title. You mentioned her run at college. She always wanted to be a part of the Burning Skirts growing up, and she has certainly contributed to that long-lasting tradition. Good to see, if you're a Fury fan, her involved in the offense, because we mentioned she was really quiet yesterday, but she gets the score in this first half to tie it up at 5 apiece. Soper and Weatherford playing a little game of pitch and catch. Now they invite Ambler into the party. Ambler goes right back. They attack it upfield a little bit, 10 yards down the way. They meet Kawhi.
Really think this is the type of game that GWEN Ambler still wanted to play in. I mean, if she was back in Seattle watching this or standing on the sidelines in the clipboard, it just wouldn't be the same.
SHIRA Stern holds it in. And judging by that last pass, Seattle's certainly happy she's here playing and not watching back at home.
I mean, her history in this rivalry is immense. She was a national champion for Fury for a long time, captain. She moved to Seattle for a job, and she continued to play for Fury even though she was roommates with the Seattle Riot captain at the time. Eventually made the transition from Fury to Riot. And I think she really wants to win a national championship with Seattle Riot. That's the goal. They won the world title in Lecco last year. But throughout her time in a Seattle jersey, Fury and Scandal have always been #1. And you can't win a national championship today. It's all part of the process, trying to improve, integrating young players like SHIRA Stern. But I would love to have a conversation with GWEN after a national title, if she can win it. Just, you know, it's been a long time since she's won one with Fury.
You saw the numbers put up by Stern this week. Offensively, she leads Seattle with her 12th goal of the tournament.
And not who I would have predicted.
No, I don't think a lot would have been.
But you know, she's really stepped up. By the way, last 3 points, no turnovers, either side.
Fury will try to keep that trend going as they set up the offense. Finney, who has a goal in this game, gets it to Carnahan. Carnahan picked up tightly by VERZUH. Denying the forehand, she's forced to go backhand, yet they're able to swing it. Now they have a couple of openings downfield. Snyder tried to tip it up ahead to her teammate there, and it goes incomplete. Fletcher off the, I think, purposeful tip there from the wise Alex Snyder.
I think Snyder was trying to catch this. Just slipped through her hands. So you don't see that too often, off the hands of 2 different teammates. And incomplete.
A big smile on both their faces. They know they missed an opportunity. So here's Riot in a 6-5 Seattle lead, a chance to maybe get a break. They're going to shoot it downfield on the huck, looking for Sadler, and this will curl out of bounds.
Impressive distance on the huck, but not really an in-control throw. And, you know, we haven't had turnovers the last 3 points. When you get a disc on defense, you just have to value it a little bit more than that.
Schneider triggers the offense to Meister. Meister along the sideline, dumps it back to Snyder, looking right, comes across the way. Sabrina Fong back to Snyder, who had to make a midair adjustment to make a catch, and I believe we have a call. Snyder on the restart for Fury. Goes across the way to Finney. Now Finney darts it to the end zone, front of the end zone. Familiar target, it's Carnahan. And we're tied again at 6 apiece.
CAROLYN Finney with one confident strike. I mean, no hesitation. Snyder hits Finney. Quick pivot left. Bullet to the right. Boom, into the end zone.
Almost somewhat of a hitch pattern there, run by Carnahan. Big jab right, and coming back toward the front of the goal. Anticipating the disc maybe being in the air there, as you mentioned it, Finney threw a strike.
CAROLYN FINNEY at UC Santa Barbara, went to the finals of nationals 5 years in a row. She says she thinks she has the most second place finishes ever. 3 college nationals, 2 club nationals, and 2 worlds. She calls it a sad fact, but she's got championships too.
Romano, Kitty Berry, Jorgensen, her teammate, all college teammates at UC Santa Barbara, part of the Skirts. 6-6 here in the first half, as anticipated, and as we were hoping, a tight one between these two powerhouses in the women's division. It's for the title, the first leg of the Triple Crown Tour. And a Kawhi, and she threw it away, an easy interception, but we have a call back near where the pick occurred. Marika Austin thought she hadn't. Let's see if they're going to contest this. Austin in the conversation with Shira Stern.
I just felt like she ran back my, it was like very incidental, but I was unable to change direction because of the disc, because of being collected by her play. And I feel like I was able to take a clear angle towards the disc to get.
Okay, the observer ruling on the foul is going to be no foul. It's going to be turnover. Play on.
So the turnover will stand as they get the interception on the read for Fury and Marika Austin.
It didn't look like much contact there, and it looked like it might have been even before the throw. So Fury will keep possession.
Fury's last lead was 3-1 early on in this game. A chance to grab it here, Cree Howard. Howard looking at a couple of drag routes. Instead, coming back to the disc is Austin, who has set up this opportunity, and we have a call away from the action, a pick call.
You can check it in when ready.
Marika Austin goes backhand, a layout. Good bid that time, as hauling it in was Nazaroff. She's been dirty all first half. She's been on the grass a ton.
Unbelievable.
Play really stopping now as we slow this thing down as another call.
Okay.
Take a look at Nazaroff.
Not sure there's anyone in the women's game who lays out more than she does.
Yes.
With a quick reversal, trying to go strong side. Still looking that direction. Over on the far wing, it's Dariani.
Pick call.
And another pick call. So, wow, Evan, we have slowed this up to a snail's pace this trip down the field.
Coming in one.
Very important point, obviously.
Isha Dariani. Nazaroff. Right back in her hands. Those two working together well, Cree Howard and Nazaroff. It's been those two. Coming back across the field, far side, Fajardo. And she'll strike it into the end zone for the score. Hannah KREILKAMP, first time we've called her name, the first-year player, 28-year-old out of Anchorage, Alaska, gets the goal, and Fury's back out in front.
Another former Seattle Riot player doing damage against her old team. And just textbook offense around the goal line. The lateral movement, waiting for an opening. To go to this side, Howard didn't see anything. Back to Mad Dog, swing it quickly. And Fajardo to the open side for KREILKAMP.
KREILKAMP's first goal of the weekend. It comes at a big time here as we draw closer to halftime. She spent some time, as you mentioned, with Riot. Last year was with Blackbird. Very aggressive cutter and marker for Fury, the new addition, and she gets the goal here, and we're 1 point away from halftime and an entertaining first half.
It's a really cool ultimate scene in KREILKAMP's home state of Alaska. I got to experience it firsthand when I visited there this past September. I played in the Bear Valley Classic in Anchorage, a hat tournament. Met a lot of people in the community, and they're talented, they're passionate, You know, even when games aren't that close, everybody's still running hard when the stakes aren't that high. It's just a lot of fun to compete. And, you know, Alaska in the summertime, before it gets cold and miserable, is a really amazing place.
It's the time to go visit, isn't it?
Went in September. You know, it was typically in the 50s, got up to the 60s, down in the 30s a couple nights, but you know, not like -40 like my friend experiences in Fairbanks most of the winter. I can't even comprehend 40 below. I think 40 is cold.
I don't think I want to comprehend that.
80 degrees difference.
Paige Soper and Seattle down a point, drawing closer to halftime. Anna Kawhi gets it to the center. VERZUH. Riot looking to pick up the tempo just a bit. Rachel Bradshaw, who has a couple of tallies in this first half, dumps it back over to Johnson. Johnson stubborn, wants to stay in the center of the field. They work the give and go.
Yeah, she's really good at those give and goes, Kelly Johnson.
And look at the layout and the defensive play by Elizabeth Duffy, one of the veterans for Fury. Duffy giving up the body on the layout, and a chance for Fury to grab the momentum here at halftime.
And there are a lot of veterans on these two teams, but only Dominique Fontenette for Riot and Liz Duffy for Fury have reached the 40 plateau.
Play should stand. You just want play to stop because the pick was called. Perfect. Do you want everyone to go back to the point of the pick? Okay. Okay. So pick called.
Turnover will stand. It happened after the transition. CAROLYN Finney and Fury trying to get into the halftime with a 2-point lead. They begin the work downfield. Duffy responsible for this possession, has it. Backdoor cut, that frees up a teammate, Nancy Sun. She hucks it toward the end zone. A lot of traffic, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Maybe not the best decision there. Riot was waiting and ready to defend it. They were trying to hook up with Lisa Cooper. See the D coming on the play from Kawhi. Got her left hand in there to slap it away.
Let's see if Riot can work it down the field here against the Fury defense. Fury does a good job defending the unders and poaching off. Nice awareness there by Bradshaw to come back to that disc.
VERZUH marked tightly by Austin. Get it to Soper. There's a shot that goes out of bounds. What do you think Seattle's trying to run offensively here against this? Like they just seem to kind of be out of sorts a little bit offensively the last couple of trips.
Fury's doing a good job making things a little more confusing with some subtle movements with poaches. Riot needs to be a little more patient.
Pass goes above the head. Cree Howard let that one go. Austin could not scale up the wall tall enough to snatch it, so another Fury turnover right back to Riot. Just back in play, Kelly Johnson.
And if I were Riot here, I would call a timeout. You've got 2 in the first half remaining. This is such an important point. It's a long point. Take a breather. Figure out what you want to do.
VERZUH and Austin with a conversation. Good look at the Seattle sideline as they get set. Here's a huck downfield looking for the 18-year-old, but she can't chase that down as it goes sailing wide and long.
And that's a better decision after a timeout when the thrower's a little bit more rested and VERZUH has a little bit more boost.
Here's a huck downfield, and this one sails long as well.
Both teams need a timeout. You know, the fact that you can't sub, this has been the longest point of the first half.
7-6, Fury still on top. We're at 36 minutes, just taking a look up as far as the pace of this game for the soft cap clock.
almost set. You can check it in.
They'll restart at the goal line. Paige Soper. Long way from where they want to get to. Working the lateral game, now jumping into the center. Angelica Boyden. And Boyden's pass is a turnover, and it could be a costly one as Fury will take over deep in Seattle territory.
And the wind is not ferocious, but it has arrived a little bit.
It's stronger than the mixed division final earlier today. Finney and a call away from the action, so this will stop it. A timeout has been called. Finney and Fury will try to script up one play to get to halftime and grab a 2-point lead in what has been kind of a seesaw game. It was Fury who jumped out early, and Seattle inflicted their will, I thought, for a good chunk of the first half, only to see both teams get a little sloppy toward the tail end of the first half on the offensive side of the disc.
Well, they'll try to diagram an offensive play to take this to half here. Mentioned earlier that Alex Snyder has had 1 million throws in her career. Just got a great text message from the former Fury coach who's watching back in the Bay Area, Maddie Sang, and he said, thought the 1 million throws for Snyder was hyperbole, but we did a back of the envelope calculation. It's possible. I appreciate the positivity as always, Maddie. The point is she's thrown a ridiculous amount over the course of her career. She's got miles on her.
And it's good to see her healthy again.
Yep.
As we talked about yesterday, coming off the injury a season ago.
Having a word with Sarah Serge Griffith. Want to see her healthy.
Yes.
You know, it was the world final in Lecco last year when Snyder went down with her knee injury and Griffith was dominant in Riot's win. I mean, I really thought Griffith was the best player on the field in that game. I was watching it in the middle of the night in the East Coast. It took place in Lecco. And Griffith went down in the semifinals of Nationals. Ended up tearing her ACL. Asked her before the game when she'd be coming back. She said, when I'm 100%. Asked her when did she think it would be. She said, taking it day by day.
Let's see what Coach Cisna has scripted up after the timeout. Fury trying to get to halftime.
Interesting that Riot come out in a zone. They have thwarted what they scripted up, and Kelly Johnson got the D. Great adjustment from Andy Lovesith, Callie Ma, and the Riot leadership. You know, it's like a basketball coach coming out of a timeout or an inbounds with a zone for the first time all game. Just a curveball that they're not expecting. They certainly didn't script the offense against the zone during that timeout.
A little bit of a chess match between these two coaches, these two clubs who know each other so well. And first half will continue, still a 7-6 lead. Here's a huck. VERZUH has a step and will make the grab. That's a field changer. Let's see if they keep the foot on the pedal here. VERZUH hits it back to Johnson. Johnson waits for a couple of players to get downfield. Breaking free on the drag was Boyden. And some contact and I believe a foul. Duffy, and they got a piece of her, so they'll restart it.
Coming in one. Coming in one. You can check.
Out of the timeout, it was Vegas making the play for Riot.
Johnson, McKibben. McKibben to Johnson, makes the grab with the left hand. 5 yards away from the goal line, and there's the score. It took a while, but Riot gets it with McKibben. And we're tied at 7.
Well, the timeout certainly changed the dynamic of the point. Riot went zone, got the D. And Kelly Johnson's give and go ability. Such a phenomenal athlete. She does CrossFit every single day, it seems. Gotten to work with her on some of the pro broadcasts. She's a fantastic replay operator and a better ultimate player.
She's notched her second goal, and that pulls Seattle even at 7-7 in this first half.
Kelly Johnson started playing on the men's team at North Park University in Chicago. Her future husband, Luke, was the captain of that team. And Luke and Kelly are now a great team helping to produce video. A lot of great ultimate footage. Pro, club, high school, you name it. Moved to Seattle before the last ultimate season with their dogs, basically for the purpose of Kelly joining Riot. She had shoulder surgery last year. Kept her out of Beach Worlds in Dubai when she would have been teammates with Anna Nazaroff, who's got the disc. I know Kelly Johnson was not pleased to miss the trip to Dubai, but she's happy to be back in the club season. This could be half.
Nazaroff to the end zone for the score. Perfectly led strike to Dara Clancy. And Fury grabs the advantage at the break, 8-7. Beautiful looking pass from Anna Nazaroff and a big hug. That's what they've been looking for the last 5 or 10 minutes, to get into the end zone, and they finally do with Nazaroff pulling the trigger.
Carnahan with a smart decision to find Nazaroff there, dumping it, and before the mark could get set, the around backhand was a beauty. Beautiful form, good follow through, plenty of float. Clancy had a step on ID.
The former Pie Queen from UC Berkeley gives the Fury a 1-point lead, 8-7 here at the intermission.
Much better first half than the pool play game, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Any big surprises in this first half watching the two?
Then, to be honest, this is kind of what I expected. I mean, trading punches back and forth, the ability to make plays happen on offense and defense, and just stars doing their thing. I mean, we've seen Mad Dog's layouts and the put to take it to half. Rachel Bradshaw, steady end zone target. JACLYN VERZUH, her first real big game in a Riot uniform, although you could argue the semifinals yesterday was pretty relevant too. Fun to watch.
8-7 Fury on top at the intermission. We're going to get comments here in just a few moments from Riot head coach Andy Loveseth, and he's set to go. And Andy, you knew this might be a different type of game than the pool matchup. You saw Fury just 2 days ago Friday. What's the biggest adjustment you've noticed that they've made this second go around here this week in Ohio?
You know, they're playing great tight defense on us. They're making our dump resets hard. So that's a great change from them. You know, we can't expect to go up 9-1 every game. So, you know, we expect a challenge. It's 8-7 on serve. Let's go.
What will be your main talking points at the half with your team in the circle?
Oh, you know, we're still working on our offensive rhythm, so we want to clear space and, you know, move the disc off the sideline quickly, throw to spaces, all that sort of stuff.
You've been coaching JACLYN VERZUH for a while in high school. What can you tell America about the kind of player she has the potential to be?
Oh, I mean, JACLYN will help redefine the next generation of Ultimate. I think she's not just a great athlete, but she's a really warm person, and she'll be the great ambassador for Ultimate in the United States for the next 10 years.
Andy, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Riot trailing Fury at the intermission. Good look at the 18-year-old rising star. They're going to need her in the second half if Riot's get back atop the U.S. Open Championship. 8-7 Fury with the lead. Fury on top, 8-7, back with you from Westchester, Ohio, the 2015 women's final for the U.S. Open Championship. Let's check in with Fury now. Kevin Cisna joins us. And Kevin, a little bit of a different first half than what you performed the first go-around with Riot. What adjustments did you feel you had to make coming into this second matchup?
I think for today, we really focused on the mental preparation to start the game, so we were a little more ready on that first point, and I think that carried us through the first half.
What were you thinking when you turned it over a couple times on that first point? I know you told me before the game how important that opening point would be.
You know, it wasn't as important that we scored as much as that we just battled on the first point, and I think that's what we did. I think we established that we're going to fight the whole game.
We saw Sarah Carnahan go deep yesterday against Brute Squad, again today. Her ability to come down with the disc, who does that remind you of in the men's or women's game?
She's one of a kind. We'll say that. I think she's good going deep. She's good coming under. She can do it all.
What will you say to the team as they take the field for the start of the second half here?
You know, it's just taking a deep breath on offense, being willing to work the disc, but then we just got to ramp up the defensive pressure. Make sure their O is working really hard.
Any nerves for you right now, or are you relaxed and having fun?
No, I'm having fun. It's exciting. I'm glad to be here.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Kevin Cisna, Fury with a 1-point lead. We'll have highlights, a look at some of the numbers when we return. 8-7 San Francisco with the lead. 8-7 Fury on top of Riot here at the break in the championship of the 2015 U.S. Open Championship, the first leg of the coveted Triple Crown Tour for USA Ultimate. Evan, you go back to the start of this game and completely different from 2 days ago. Fury looked sharp, and they looked sharp early and often.
Yeah, they came out with much better focus than they did in the pool play game when they just got broken early and often. Great catch by Alden Fletcher in the end zone. Fury has made some plays deep. It's not just focus, it's the ability to execute when the pressure is on. And we talked about Sarah Carnahan with Kevin Cisna. I mean, that's a game-changing dynamic when she can go up and make that play like it's nothing. But of course, Riot has some stars too. JACLYN VERZUH laying out and then distributing the disc. Good movement from Riot. Rory Titcomb over into the hands of Angelica Boyden. And then Kelly Johnson back to Titcomb. Now Riot's in good shape when Rory is quarterbacking the offense like that into the end zone for the score. And later, looking long, the tallest player on the field for either side is JILLIAN GOODREAU. She went up for the sky. But late in the first half, Fury was a little bit more careful with the disc, especially around the end zone. It was interesting what Andy Lovesith said about JACLYN VERZUH. She's going to redefine the next generation of Ultimate. No pressure, JACLYN.
Yeah, what a statement there, and what a credit to the type of player that she is and will become.
Well, he knows her well. She's coached her in high school. Lisa Pincaidley had a bit of a quiet semifinals and finals until that play when she went up for the big-time sky. GWEN AMBLER thought she might retire. She still looks as good as ever, distributing the disc to the youngster SHIRA Stern. And then late in the half, Jurgensen working with a handler core. Carnahan, a quick dish off to Nazaroff, who aired it out. A majestic put into the possession of Dara Clancy. That was the goal that took half. 8-7 for San Francisco Fury.
It took a while for Fury to get that 8th goal. They had a number of chances. As you look at the first half scoring, McKibben and Bradshaw each with a pair. Good distribution of the disc by Riot in the first half. San Francisco led by Carnahan, a couple of goals, plus she has an assist. And as expected, Schneider and Finney picking up 2 assists apiece. 8-7, Fury on top. We'll have the second half call when we return to Westchester after this. Alongside Evan Lepler, Sean Kinney back with you on what has been a real fun week here in the state of Ohio. What a great host for the U.S. Open Championship. 8-7 Fury on top of Riot as we get set for the start of the second half and a look at some of the individuals out there to start. O'Malley, Kawhi, SHIRA Stern getting set for Seattle Riot. Mentioned this World Championship squad, 2-time U.S. Open champ, trying to defend it. Now Fury won the U.S. Open title as well. These two teams have represented the 3 previous championships of this first leg of the Triple Crown. And here we go with 20 minutes and 5 seconds on the soft cap clock. We begin half number 2, an 8-7 Fury lead, but it will be Riot with control of the disc in their opening possession. GWEN AMBLER, the main handlers, gets it right back. She has a teammate and Schneider camped out along the near side. Wants to go deep instead, looking for Stern, has a step, gives up the body on the layout, and a quick strike and score for Seattle.
And SHIRA Stern, her speed downfield is striking. And we are right back on serve as Riot holds to start the second half. Stern had a step on Meister. Gorgeous. Played against each other a lot in college. Washington versus Stanford. Now, she's handled a lot in her career, but downfield as a cutter, she's been so effective for Seattle Riot.
Smile from Bailey Zonizer. And you look at the women's game at the college level. Oregon coming off the national championship this year with a 13-11 win over Stanford. Ohio State able to get the championship 2 years ago. A lot of current and former college stars showcasing their talents at the club level. 8-8 Seattle and San Francisco. Riot with the pole. Titcomb lets her fly.
Rory Titcomb has the best poles in the women's division.
She can let it rip, no doubt about it. First possession of the second half for Fury. Cree Howard toward the center and behind her target, and a quick turnover. It was behind Elizabeth Duffy. No chance for Duffy to make the catch. And automatically an immediate break opportunity for Riot. Kelly Johnson, backhand flip, gets it up ahead. Snyder. Back to Johnson. Johnson so quick at getting rid of the dish. Just does not let the defense make any type of adjustment. Mercer hauls in the goal. Looks like we're going to have a contest here. We have a pick call away from the action.
That's what was signaled.
Do you want to send it back, or do you want to?
Well, so it's, yeah, I guess it's your call to be like, if I feel like the position I was pretty far away from you in terms of like where I was at. So
Okay, extended. Goal.
The observer signals goal. But going back to that point with Johnson, she is so quick at recognizing and seeing windows of opportunities downfield.
I mean, there's no question about it. It comes from one, confidence in your own ability to throw it where you want, and two, a cohesiveness with your teammate and trust that they're going to make these catches.
And she had that for, what, a tenth of a second? Boom, boom. How tough for a defender to try to react to this.
And I think it was, a good decision there by Mad Dog to accept the goal. Because even if there was certainly a pick, but she wouldn't have been able to get there to block that throwing lane in time anyway.
See the high number of assists once again for Kelly Johnson. That's the strength of her game, and Riot has come out of the gates flying here. 2 quick points. They've grabbed the lead at 9-8. Here's the opening pull by Riot. So Fury with control. See what San Francisco can do. Sabrina Fong gets it over to CAROLYN Finney. Finney's pass too tall, and another turnover as it went over the top of Jorgensen. And a big development here for Riot if they can take advantage of it. Johnson's going to be on the pull here at the quick trigger. She gets it set over to Eide. Trying to get it right back to Johnson. Guarded by Schneider. They come near side to Burstein. Burstein cutting back toward the center of the field. The pass goes over her fingertip out of bounds.
So Alex Snyder's going to pick up this disc. Fury needs to put some completions together. Very close to a great layout from Burstein.
Carnahan comes back to the disc. Gets it to Clancy. Clancy with a couple of goals in the first half. Over to Fong. Fong to Snyder. Schneider marked by Johnson. Wants to come back across the field. Kayla Jorgensen. Breaking toward the center was Rudin. Good coverage downfield. They're trying to work it to Carnahan, but she's having to work for everything now with Eide on top of her. Skidding on the grass at center field, making the catch. Keeping the possession is Clancy. Now they finally get it to Carnahan. You see Eide dancing around, trying to distract her. Real patient approach, but an approach I like in this situation, considering the way the second half has started.
Yeah, they've put some completions together. Nobody made the cut to the wide open side of the field. Fong very content with just resetting to Finney. They play catch.
Dangerous pass. Finney comes back to it. Like for a moment that maybe Boyden might have the angle. Clancy. Snyder trying to find any type of crevice against the stubborn Riot defense. There's a flick toward the end zone and the score. So you talk about patience, that's about as patient as you can possibly work the disc downfield. Kayla Jorgensen crossing in front of the end zone, gets the goal.
And a lot of circumstances, great ultimate isn't the most exciting ultimate, but this was great ultimate, this possession from Fury. Just calmly working it around, taking the sure thing, knowing that eventually they'd get an open side cut in the end zone. Jorgensen timed it well. Good lead on the throw. And an important score for San Francisco as Riot had held and broken to start the second half.
Imagine you probably have some tired Riot defenders leaving the field after that long possession. That's a long time to work.
That's where the depth comes in, you know. Some lesser women's club teams might have to play some of their stars from the D-line on this next offensive point. Riot will have a brand new 7 on there, and it's a very talented 7 that takes the field.
See the constant talking, the communication, the adjustments for the next time that D-line hits the field for Riot. 9-9, San Francisco and Seattle. Here's the pull. GWEN AMBLER to Weatherford. Weatherford double team for a moment. Like they wanted to come near sideline to Kawhi. Ambler's able to get the disc to Kawhi along the sideline. Both defenses really picking up, and just as I say that, jumping the passing lane was Finney. Turnover and an opportunity for a break for San Francisco Fury. Again with that soft cap at 11:18. We'll keep an eye on the clock. Every possession precious down the stretch. Marika Austin looking. Trying to go backhand, nothing there. Instead comes back to Finney. Right back to Austin toward the end zone, and a misfire there as Fury comes up empty.
Up until that throw, they exhibited great patience around the end zone. You know, when Finney intercepted that dish, she wanted to take a shot, but thought better of it. Wisely so, Howard and Finney swinging it around. And then just a little bit too much, forcing it around with Ambler playing tough D on Duffy.
Take a look at the numbers and those turnovers mounting for both teams, but a lot of that because of the tough, hard-nosed defense here in the second half. They know how critical these possessions are with the time winding down. Nora Carr gets it back to Weatherford. Weatherford over to Ambler. Ambler has it blocked away. Duffy with the hand, but I think we're going to get a call here and a conversation coming. Two veterans who have played a lot of hours of Ultimate through the years. Take a look.
Ooh, it's really close. She's not allowed to hit the disc when it's still in her hand.
And one.
So a foul will be called with Duffy. Riot maintains possession. Just a little bit, we're going to introduce a very special guest. Shelly Cohen has joined us up here in the broadcast booth as we're going to talk about the girls' ultimate movement, one of the ambassadors for that great cause in this wonderful sport. We're going to get Shelley's comments in just a moment. Another foul called along the far side, Dominique Fontenette. Fontenette will restart it for Riot. 9-9 in the championship of this women's final, the first leg of the Triple Crown. Finney with the tight mark. They come back to the center, Ambler. Flick up ahead, too tall and incomplete, so a turnover. And it goes back to Fury, and this will give us some time to welcome in Shelley. First off, great to have you with us. Shelley, you enjoying the festivities this week?
Yeah, this is great. It's a good game.
Quick turnover by Fury as Riot has a chance to grab the lead. Right on the doorstep. This is Ambler with it. Ambler looking for the dump, still looking. Finally able to lob it over the top to Snyder. Red zone defense after the turnover. Let's see if Fury can lock it up, but they cannot. Finding some room in the end zone to give Riot the lead. Julia Snyder in a 10-9 Seattle lead after, again, another turnover by Fury deep in their own end. Shelley, let's talk about the girls' ultimate movement and what this exactly means.
Yeah, so about a year ago, Heather Ann Brower and Zara started the girls' ultimate movement, which was a program that helped recruit and retain young female athletes. Over the past year, it's kind of grown. It's become more nationwide, and it's allowed young female athletes to look up to more of, all the women we're seeing playing right now as leadership role models, both on and off the field.
You know, you look at a tournament like this in the finals, and we see so much talent on both sidelines. Talk about where the sport is evolving, and are you happy with the progress right now?
Yeah, I think it's great. Just looking at both of these teams, Julia Snyder, SHIRA Stern, Lauren Sadler, all of them, they're U23, I played with them there. A lot of them played in youth as well. JACLYN as well on Riot. She's so young and so great. I think women in sport, starting from the, it's growing so quickly, and it's amazing to watch.
What are you finding to be some of the key recruiting tools when you're going to the high schools, even younger, the middle schools? We talked about how strong it is in Seattle with the middle school programs and some of those younger kids. What do they respond to well?
I think just, for me anyway, telling them just how much Ultimate's impacted my life. It's a huge part of, it's my social circle. It's pretty much everything for me. I think kind of showing them that they'll have a really great community to be a part of. And encouraging them to continue in sport and keep playing and growing as an athlete would be really great.
Who are the people that you looked up to that taught you the sport and brought you to this point?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many. My dad taught me how to throw when I was 6 or 7, so obviously him. Yeah, and I grew up in North Carolina, so I watched backhoe play. Lindsay Hack coached me in Pleiades. There's just so many amazing.
So Carnahan in the end zone, another great young stud.
Yeah, a lot of amazing women to look up to.
What are some of the things, as you look ahead for the future of the sport, what are some of the things you're most excited about for the girls' division?
In the girls' division, it's really nice that a bunch of teams are growing, and I think for a really long time it was this matchup in every final, and watching Scandal come in and having other teams grow is really great. And I think with GUM as well, providing youth, we're launching a website, we're launching an Instagram page, we've launched a Facebook page already as well, and it's going to provide a lot of young female athletes, international, well, I guess across the international platform to look up to and read about more opportunities for growth and read about it.
Now you're a current. Oh, go ahead, Evan.
I was going to say, as a member of the Brute Squad, are you tired of watching Fury and Riot in the final?
A little bit, but again, they're fantastic athletes, and so a little, but it's always really good. It's always a really good game, and it's always really entertaining, and I respect that a lot.
So we have a lot of young women listening, watching this program here today, watching the coverage of the tournament. What would you tell them? What makes Ultimate special for you and all these players that enjoy these tournaments and this competition each and every day?
Just keep playing. Keep playing as much as you can while your body lets you. It's a fantastic sport. It's so much fun. The people are amazing. some/all of my really good friends play. I don't know. It's just keep playing for as long as you possibly can, because you'll meet amazing people, you'll go amazing places, and it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
Riot with the turnover, so Fury will regain control. Tight bout here in the finals, 10-10, Fury and Riot. What's your favorite part about playing Ultimate? What aspect of the game do you enjoy the most?
I like the spirit. I like the fact that we call our own fouls, and you really have to be like, you have to be very respectful and nice, and you can't just like kind of force your way to a win. You have to really earn it, and you have to. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by all these amazing plays.
Elizabeth Duffy able to go up and snatch it. Duffy, we mentioned the veteran, one of the veterans, just turned 40 in her second year with this Fury squad, able to come down with a big catch on a beautiful lead and huck from CAROLYN Finney.
Well, Duffy embodies the spirit that Shelly's talking about. Keep playing as long as you can. Liz Duffy's married, has a family, and yet here she is making plays at 10-all in the finals of the U.S. Open. Put your coaching hat on for us. I know you've done a good bit of coaching.
Gosh.
I'm not asking you who's going to win the game, but what's it going to take? What are the keys for each team down the stretch? And you've played against both of these teams. What makes them tick?
I haven't played against this Riot team yet. It's a new team. I don't know. I think Riot's doing a really good job putting pressure on Fury's handlers right now. And I think that's causing a few more throwing turns, more than Fury had against us anyway in our semis, even though it was a little bit windier. So I don't know, maybe keep putting pressure on them for Riot to get well, Riot needs to put it in here and then hopefully get another break after this.
We're chatting with Shelly Cohen, an ambassador with Girls Ultimate Movement. What exactly are your roles as an ambassador, and how many ambassadors are there for this current group?
Hopefully we're trying to get an ambassador for every single pro elite team right now. Right now I just act as sort of a liaison between the GUM body and my team right now, and we work in the Boston area, you know, connecting youth with clinics and just kind of giving them more opportunities to play and talk to us. And we actually hosted a clinic last weekend with Amherst High School, and that's probably something that we'll keep looking to do in Boston area.
It's a pretty good area to host a clinic.
Oh, it's great.
Some skill in that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Now, are you looking actively to recruit more ambassadors to this movement?
I'm not sure, actually. I think that's probably more Heather Ann and Zara's Zara's area of expertise.
Here's the D as Diana Cherrier was able to get her hand on it. A big D. We haven't mentioned her a lot, but in the clutch, she comes up with a huge stop here for Fury.
Another Fury rookie, played with Showdown in the past in Texas. Huge defensive play, but can Fury capitalize?
Fury with a 1-point lead, 11-10. Nazarov, who's been all over the field like always, handling the disc, comes back toward the near side to Nancy Sun. Sun gets it to the center, looking for any type of opening was Austin. Goes back to Nazarov, quick give and go action. Austin gets it safely. Now they lob it, soft toss there from Cree Howard. Again, the patience by Fury in this second half. So they're falling off the mark a little bit, finding some room and getting the score is Marika Austin. And Fury goes up a break. They lead at 12-10.
Just great stuff from the Fury offense here after the turn. First it was Cherrier who got the D. And then initiating the swing, Nazarov swinging the disc. And Marika Austin fired up. She played soccer and lacrosse in college and transitioned to Frisbee, and it was Seattle's Rory Titcomb who was the person who convinced her to try Frisbee during her sophomore year of college at Dartmouth, where Rory went, where JACLYN VERZUH is headed.
Shelly, when you talk with a lot of the young women who want to become a part of this sport or introduce the sport for the first time, kind of like what Evan mentioned, it seems like once they get out there and play it once, they're hooked.
Yeah.
Anybody is hooked. Do you find that? Is that fairly accurate?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really welcoming community, so I think that definitely helps a lot. And just most of the people who play also are really excited when new people come, because most people don't hear about it. Recently it started, more people have started to hear about it as young as like middle school and elementary school, but a lot of these people didn't start playing until college or high school, and so it's really great when you have a young player who's interested. Everyone just latches on and tries to get them to stay for as long as they can.
Soft cap going to go on after this point. So after this point, you add 2 to the highest score. It'll either be a game to 14 or a game to 15, depending on who scores here.
Quick movement by Seattle as they turn up the pace. Whipping the disc up ahead. Controlling it now is Angelica Boyden. That pace is going to slow down as we had a call, so this will stop it, but real quick motion that time by Seattle as they turned up the tempo a little bit. Boyden on the restart. Flings it up ahead. Good backhand midair adjustment there by Kawhi. Kawhi in a pretty good position to deal here, and she will take advantage of it. They throw it in for the score, but I think a pick was called. That's why Johnson was freed up so much right in front of the end zone area. So this will come back.
It's on 3.
Start the count on 3. Hannah Kawhi.
Must score here for Riot.
They have the stack lined up. Kawhi with a number of targets, looking, trying to pick her best option. Still searching, dangerous pass, but the right hand up there, and Boyden collapses in on the disc and grabs it out of midair. Oh my. She used all of that right hand to snatch it. Big play made by Boyden.
Kawhi didn't throw many fakes in there, didn't open up a lot of angles, but Boyden bailed her out. So it's 12-11 Fury. Riot will be pulling down by 1, game to 14.
Shelly, you were a Callahan finalist in 2014. Talk about the state of the college game and how important at this club level as, again, a lot of these players continue to filter into the clubs and discover the sport that way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out here. I mean, probably almost all of them played in college as well. I think I don't know, college it's a really great place to learn and grow, and I mean, you learn from amazing. I know that Hannah Kawhi actually convinced one of the girls on my team on Brute Squad to play in college. She ran track, and Hannah convinced her to come out and play, and so, which is really great for us because she's an amazing athlete. So I think the college game really, a lot of people who played in college are some of the stars that you see here today.
And the beauty of Ultimate, it's a sport you can pick up quickly, and I'm sure that's one of the messages you're telling the youth across the country.
Definitely, definitely. It's easy to learn, and it's a lot of fun once you do.
Well, Shelly, we appreciate the time. Again, Shelly Cohen, the ambassador for the girls' Ultimate movement. We appreciate all the effort, and we'll let you enjoy the tail end of this final. Looks like we're heading down to the wire.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Shelly.
Best of luck to you and Brute Squad the rest of the season.
Thanks.
12-11, a game to 14 with the soft cap. Fury with control. San Francisco has it. Maggie Rudin. Rudin gets it over to Nazarov. Up ahead, they clear it to Clancy. Clancy. Jorgensen toward the end zone, and a score for Carnahan. When you need a big point, who do you look to? Number 22. Time and time again, it's been Sarah Carnahan. And now Fury 1 point away from championship.
I think Fury's been trying to get Sarah Carnahan to play with him for a while, and you can see why. Just a great ability to read the disc and make plays down the field. Jorgensen threading the needle. Probably didn't have as much rotation on that disc as she wanted to on the release. It was a little wobbly, but it still got there. And Fury is a point away from another US Open title.
Fury won the title back in 2013. They beat Scandal that year, 15-12. Very active box score, like always, from Jorgensen. 4-point game, couple of goals, 2 assists. You see, it's been either one of these two teams who have captured the championship through the years. Riot a pair of championships in the even years, and could the odd year be Fury's magic number? They're 1 point away, 13-11.
Worth mentioning, in 2012, Fury was not at the US Open because they were headed to Japan to represent the US in WUGC. 9 different scores for each team in this game.
And we talked about that parity coming in for both these squads.
And a must score here for Riot.
Fontenette gets it to Stern. Stern to VERZUH. A lot of room to work. No mark. Now Duffy's going to jump into the party a little bit late when Ambler had time to look downfield, clear vision. Trying to locate anything open. VERZUH along the sideline. Ambler comes back to it. Again, it's Duffy with the assignment. They dump it to Johnson. Johnson low to VERZUH. Despite her tall frame, she's able to go down, grab it. VERZUH wanted to go toward the end zone, nothing open. She'll give it to a dumping Johnson, some contact, but they'll let play continue. Backhand flip over the top for the score. So Riot takes care of their job there, and they get the point with McKibben. And it's 13-12, and Fury will receive the pull, play for championship point.
Well, again, it's another quick release that you were talking about before from Kelly Johnson around the goal line. VERZUH for about 4 seconds of the stall count, looked back, couldn't find anybody, and then Johnson to McKibben. Quick release, not allowed to jump because you got to keep that pivot foot. Just going on to her tippy toes to find McKibben for the 3rd time in the end zone. So Fury's O-line will take the field, and Riot's D will try to get back in this game. Kelly Johnson staying out there for the defensive point. For Fury, it's Rudin, along with Finney, Carnahan, Steph Lim, Alden Fletcher, Michaela Meister. Dre Romano out there as well. Interesting, no Snyder.
I was going to say, are you surprised not to see Alex and Kayla Jorgensen?
Yeah, no Jorgensen, no Snyder, no Nazaroff. I'm sure they'll be out there if it gets to 13 all. This is ultimate crunch time.
The two number 22s guarding one another here. VERZUH and Carnahan. We'll keep an eye on them along the near side. I guarantee you Fury's going to try to get a look to Sarah Carnahan. She will get the touch here. Carnahan immediately picked up on the mark. Goes back center as they continue to swing it left to right. Romano, low throw and a bid and a catch that time from Maggie Rudin. Up ahead, they patiently get it across midfield to Carnahan. Back over to Romano. Some space to work as she clears it to the left side. Rudin comes back toward the center to Finney. Slowly starting to get into the territory for Carnahan to work. They have her flanked on a wing right now. Now they will send her down the center of the field, but again, VERZUH is shadowing every step she takes. Dangerous pass and an interception, a D on the read by Boyden. Riot had a couple of opportunities and they missed it, but there was a call. Timeout taken. Seattle looked a little frustrated at the quick timeout because they had two sprinting down the wings on the transition opportunity, but a timeout taken by Riot. They get the stop they needed.
Oh, the dumps and resets have been so reliable for Fury throughout this tournament. But Rudin there just didn't take the full field view as Boyden jumped the route.
(13-12) Fury with a 1-point lead. And you look at Fury in that last lineup, Evan, and I guess I'm surprised with no Schneider and Jorgensen, some of your key players not out there for championship point. I know, obviously, if they don't get the point, they still will get a chance to get that line out. Is that a situation where you're just absolutely trying to keep them fresh, or why not put out your best unit when you have a chance to end it.
You know, I'm not sure Kevin Sisna knows who his best unit is right now. I mean, that's part of it. Certainly Snyder, Jorgensen, Finney, Nazaroff, Howard, Pitcaithley have the pedigree. But, you know, the line that Fury has out there is not a bunch of slouches right now. So am I surprised that some of those aforementioned stars aren't on the field? Yes, but I understand it.
Riot down a point with control of the disc. Lauren Sadler. And a turnover, as unable to control it was Boyden. Good defense there. Romano just did not give her much room to work. Stayed in her lane, avoided the contact and the foul. And for the second time, championship point for Fury. This will be Finney with it. Nowhere to go downfield, so she'll try to swing it. Dangerous pass broken up by Mercer. But in the process, she ran right over the top of Maggie Rudin, and a foul will be called here as those two will.
Uncontested. Stalling one will be your disc here.
Not even go into a conversation. You heard the observer clearly say a uncontested. That's a good shot by Mercer.
It's hard defense.
I mean, you have to take a shot there. She saw an opportunity.
And it's Mercer who did not contest the foul. The observer was letting everybody know, but you know, the observer did not rule on that. He was just making everybody aware, but wow.
Finney took her eyes off it, right back to Riot. Up ahead, they have the numbers here as they continue to work the give and go toward the goal line, and it's tipped away. There is a call, though.
Maybe on the throw. Foul on the throw, it looks like.
Take another look at this. Fast break opportunity.
Watch the release from Kawhi. She was hit in the arm. And on the restart, Riot hits Diddy Soper. I beg your pardon.
Sadler with it.
Sadler.
And here we go. 13 all. Seattle and San Francisco, two of the women's powers, and now it comes down to this for Fury and Riot in the first leg of the Triple Crown Tour. Couldn't have scripted it any better, could we have?
It will be fun on this next point to see who each team throws out there. Looks like a timeout was called. Annie Lovesith, Callie Ma, and the rest of Seattle Riot. Can't wait to see the lines for both of these teams here. 13 all, game to 14. Universe point upcoming between these two long-standing rivals that have each won so many championships, been ambassadors for the sport. Riot's going to need its 5th break of the game to win.
Let's put your analytical hat, your coaching hat on a bit. Go inside that huddle right there for Coach Kevin Sisna. Offensively, what do you anticipate to be the approach on Universe Point here?
I think he's going to say, let's take care of the disc. Let's run hard. Let's reset like we know we can. And let's work it down the field, put it in the end zone, and walk away with a championship without a turnover here.
On the opposite side for Coach Andy Loveseth in Seattle, what's going to be the Riot approach?
I mean, you just want to leave it all out on the line. The defensive line here for Seattle Riot. Rachel Bradshaw out there. Lauren Sadler. Kelly Johnson stays out there as well. It'll be Fiona McKibben for Fury. Nazaroff, Clancy, Jurgensen, Snyder. Carnahan gets the nod on Universe. Also one of the new captains, Finney, and the veteran Maggie Rudin. JACLYN VERZUH for the 2nd straight day at 18 years old on the field on Universe Point for Seattle Riot.
Low line drive, rolling pull. Fury will get the disc in great shape near midfield as they begin Universe Point. A chance to win the U.S. Open Championship. They get it to Snyder. What a tournament for Snyder. She'll turn, look over her options. being forced toward the forehand. Still looking with the count on. A hammer attempt downfield is caught. Making the grab, Clancy.
Nice throw by Snyder with a stall count rising.
Clancy threw it away. Communication breakdown. She thought Schneider was coming back to it. Schneider cut off her route, and it's Riot all of a sudden with a chance to take the title.
Carnahan on VERZUH, and Kelly Johnson again is going to take Riot's final timeout.
You talk about it. Fury has had a number of chances to put this away, but Riot, to their credit, just battling. Look at that denial defense.
Yeah.
For Seattle and Lauren Sadler.
She's a huge addition to Seattle Riot. On the field, on Universe, defensive intensity on the mark, denying Snyder the easy reset.
All right, it's been a little bit of a different style offensively for Riot compared to Fury. So now if you're Seattle, they've had pretty good luck with that up-tempo style, the quick release of the disc. I mean, it's complete opposite from what we've seen from Fury and the way they handle it. Do you anticipate the same thing here?
I don't know. There's just a different feel on Universe. You know, I'm kind of hoping they'll send JACLYN VERZUH against Sarah Carnahan, and may the best woman win. The timeout does give a chance for Fury to reset their matchups. See how they match up.
Carnahan wearing number 22 for Fury. VERZUH, the youngest player to ever make the Riot roster. Number 22 for the Black here. Seattle, Universe point with control of the disc. Kelly Johnson.
Stern isolated in the middle of the field. Johnson hits her. And right back to Johnson.
Quick action, quick disc movement by Riot. Looking for the quarterback of the offense. Johnson comes to it. The Wizard with the disc. Sends it up ahead. Now they back it off to Angelica Boyden. But making the catch out of bounds, and they cough it up. Losing track of where she was along the far sideline, and Riot commits the turnover.
Such a painful mistake right there.
There's a layout attempt, but it comes up empty. Plus, we had a pick called. Saw the layout by Bradshaw.
So it's safe. It was when she, yeah. So coming in one. Yeah, I mean,
that
you can
was
get up on your feet. So it's going to come in one. Everyone looks set. You can check it in when ready.
That was Riot's 19th turnover of the game. Fury also has turned it over 19 times.
Rudin dumps it back to Finney. Johnson on the mark. Nazaroff gets it safely ahead to Clancy near midfield. Clancy looking down, fires it ahead to Carnahan. Carnahan picked up by VERZUH, as we talked about. She'll dump it to Nazaroff. Universe point for the title of the U.S. Championships here in Ohio. Downfield, they get it. About 1.5 yards away from the goal line. They're going to reset the attack back to Nazaroff. How will they try to free up Carnahan here? Trying to get it to Nazaroff. Now they throw it in front. Finney has it. Finney looking. Still surveying. Tough defense by Seattle. They rotated across for the score. Did she get in? Nope. No indication from the observer, so play continues. Clancy right on the doorstep. Snyder turns and faces. Backhand flip toward the score. There it is. Maggie Rudin holds it in. And Fury with the championship, 14-13. They had a number of opportunities down the stretch to seal it. And finally, the Oceanside, California native Maggie Rudin closes it out for San Francisco.
What a battle. Down to the wire, Universe point, and this was the mistake, just a lack of awareness. McKibben has played so well too. The patience near the goal line. It's what we saw yesterday from Fury, working it around Nazaroff, such an important pivot to these swings. I thought Snyder might have had Nazaroff on the strike cut there, but swinging it back around to Rudin. The look on her face says it all. For a couple years now, a lot of the Ultimate pundits have tried to say that Fury's championship reign is over. It's a loud statement to the contrary.
One of the team captains, Maggie Rudin, hauling in the game winner championship point. Fury captures the U.S. Open title, 14-13 over Riot. We'll have post-game festivities coming up from Westchester. The 2015 U.S. Open Ultimate Championships are presented by Discraft Ultrastar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Ask your retailer for Discraft Ultrastar. The Women's Sports Foundation, ensuring equality and leadership opportunities for girls and women through sports. And the Girls Ultimate Movement, a strategic initiative designed to increase girls' participation in the sport of ultimate. There's a new champion this year at the U.S. Open Championships for Ultimate. It's San Francisco, the Fury, with a 14-13 win over Riot. Universe point as they were able to get the disc to Maggie Rudin as she hauled it in. One of the big reasons for the success of this week for Fury was Sarah Carnahan in her first year with the program, making the transition from mixed into the women's side. And first off, Sarah, congratulations. Take us through this transition process for you, coming from the mixed league over to the women's.
I guess the biggest thing for me is that I've had great teammates, and so they've made everything very easy. They've been very welcoming and open and kind of helping me learn the different styles of play.
When did you make the decision, and who was the person that convinced you to give Fury a go?
I had been thinking about it for a while. Obviously, there's a great ultimate scene in San Francisco, and I would say my husband, who plays on American Barbecue, was probably the one who helped make the transition very easy.
On the field on Universe Point, what's going through your mind, especially after you guys turned it over the first time?
Well, walking up to the line, always very calm, confident, knowing, though, once we turned it, that we had to turn that fire on and get the D back. Definitely all the confidence in the world in my teammates.
Who have been the players on Fury that you've most looked up to that have really taught you the Fury way?
Oh, I mean, everybody. There's so many veterans who know everything, and then the young guns who are coming up. It's amazing. I'd have to say that throwing with Alex and Nancy has been a great experience.
Sarah, congratulations on the tournament title, the first leg of the Triple Crown Tour, and it's back in Fury's control. Go enjoy it with your teammates.
Thank you.
Sarah Carnahan, a big weekend, 12 goals, 3 assists. Time now for the Discraft Ultrastar play of the game, and it started with a turnover by Riot.
Well, McKibben was not aware of how close she was to the sideline, made the catch very lackadaisically, and then Snyder to Rudin on the game's final score, and credit Nazaroff, the upline cut that drew the attention of the defense for obvious reasons.